Hi, friends. Happy belated Easter celebration, however and wherever you celebrated it. One thing is sure, I'm sure that the resurrection power of Jesus was reenacted in our lives, and we had fresh time to, go over and to ponder over again what Jesus did while he was on the cross of Calvary. Well, another Easter had come and gone, but what have we learned out of it again? Fresh. Has been this topic that I've been considering for some time now, and I think is very suitable for this moment, and that is love, God's kind of love. We read in the book of John 3:16 that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. The reason Jesus came to die is because God loved us and desired to restore us back to how He intended us to be. He wanted us ever to be in fellowship with Him, but we sold out our birthright to the devil through the first parent. Everything about Jesus coming and dying for the world is about love. When Jesus finished his assignment, after he had gone to the cross and met the disciples before the ascension, he said in the book of John 13:34, he said, "A new commandment I give you. Love one another as I have loved you. So also you must love one another." Sorry, that statement was made just before he went to die on the cross of Calvary. Jesus was literally replacing the entire Old Testament law with just one law of love. Paul also said in the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 8 that Jesus proved his love to us by dying for us. That is, while we were yet sinners, Jesus died for us. That is another strong proof of God's love for us. So, what is love? I know many of us, definitely you can say something, one or two things about this all important topic. But my attention is normally drawn to number one, where things may be, um, where there might be some gaps in this, whatever we know, where there might be some gaps. And I think this is where I wanted us to concentrate our attention on in this topic tonight. Right? I'm not particularly saying I have all the answers here, but I really want to bring out something tonight which may which I believe will add to whatever we know before now. And it is my prayer that God will enlighten us further. The Word of God is ever new. This also has some things I kept discovering from God's Word, and I think it can do every one of us a word of good. Now, what is love? Different school of thoughts have love defined in so many ways. Love has been said to be one of the overused words in the English dictionary. When some people want to collect something from another person, they say, "I love you." When some men want to have sexual relationship with some ladies, they say, "It's a proof that I love you," or "I am asking you for, I'm making this sex advance because I love you." Or some yet, maybe some people are in relationship, especially for those of us who don't believe that this kind of love, sexual love, needs to be demonstrated while you are in relationship, before you are joined together as husband and wife. Some of us who still hold that belief, which is a biblical fact, biblical belief principle, we hold it strong. And for some ladies who actually are bent on remaining like that, you see, occasionally they come across some guys who tell them, really, if you want to prove to me you love me, you let me sleep with you. Otherwise, this relationship is over. For many of those ladies, what normally happens at times is out of fear or out of proper definition or understanding of the word love they give in, not because they are into what they want to give in, not because they believe they need to give in, because somebody confused them with the word love. So really, we owe ourselves responsibility to understand what we are doing in this world. Somebody said this word itself is not understandable. That is a friend of mine, but I said no. I believe that whatever is happening in this world, we need to understand them because this is where we are created to dominate. Why will you not understand what you are created to dominate? If there is something you don't understand, a subject, a topic, an issue of life you don't understand, go and ask God. Go and read. Seek answers from God, from those who have experiences in the area you are a bit confused with. In most cases, you come out with good answers. Now, many people have misused love to me when you want to have sex with somebody, when somebody look extremely beautiful to you, the next thing you want to say is, I love you. Yes, you're not going to say, I hate the person, but we need to know exactly whether what you have is love. A very good example of a misused word love is when Amnon, so some of us will know that story from the second book of Samuel, chapter 13, thereabout around that place. We know about Amnon, son of David, whom the Bible recorded as falling in love with Tamar, his half sister. Tamar was the sister of Absalom. Absalom also was the son of David. So that makes Tamar the half sister of Amnon. Amnon was a virgin. Sorry, Tamar was a virgin, and Amnon was lusting after her to the point of executing a plan to rape her, and she did. And immediately after that experience, after raping this half sister of his, the Bible recorded that he hated Tamar with with an extreme hatred that is far beyond the passion he once had for her. Then one will ask a question, do we still call that love? I don't think so, because when you dig through the scripture very well, you will understand that love never fails. Whatever Amnon had for Tamar failed, and that is why it turned to hatred. A little digression here. Ladies that are in relationship, I want to hold on to the principle of no sex before marriage. I rejoice with you. It may not be very easy, but it is doable. Hold your value so high. Let that man yearn for it. Let him value you. If anybody tells you that except you show or prove to him that you love him by giving him sex or by allowing him sex, that man is already showing you sign that he is not a husband material. Because anyone that will make you to go against a lofty principle as that, and which you have made up your mind not to go against, and somebody is tying into love, is tying it like a threat, tying it to be a threat that if you don't allow him this final time he had been begging you, then this relationship is over. Look him straight in the eye and tell him, I have disconnected from this relationship even before now. If that is all you want from me, there are there are there are there are those out there who you can pay to get sex. I am not available. And I bet you there is no one who stands on God's promises, even in the face of persecution or hatred, that doesn't last. God always show himself faithful on the behalf of those ones. So don't confuse love with what that man has for you. Perhaps all he has for you is lust. Perhaps the kind of love he has for you is the type of love that Amnon had for Tamar, his half sister. So it's good for us to check what people call love against what God calls love. So, what is love? If this is all the commandment Jesus left for us, by compressing all the long laws, commandments in the Old Testament into one single law called law of love, and he said that he has not come to abolish the law, but he has come to fulfill all of them. And the fulfillment of all of them is in dying on the cross of Calvary, which is his example of showing us love. Then we need to understand from God's perspective what this topic love is. When you digress a little bit into the Greek philosophies, we have um, some words in the Greek terminologies that are also called love today. Eros, that is sexual or passionate love. This is the kind that Amnon had for Tamar. Or when a man is telling you, I love you, I want to have sex with you, all he had is Eros. You met somebody for the very first time and you say you love. I don't think that is love. Love goes deeper. Because this same person you say you love, if she tells you something about her, something about her life that may not fit into your own, right on the spot, whatever you call love may disappear. That is why you have to use that word carefully, that I love you. I remember a lady sometimes back who, before she met the Lord, was a a sex worker. And this lady, now knowing the Lord, during the time she was she was in this business, she had series of abortions. And in the process, or the very final time, the doctor said she needed to remove the womb because the womb had become well perforated. I don't know whether womb can become perforated, but that is what I can term it to be. And the lady said, well, in my line of business, womb is really not necessary. So please go ahead and remove it. Afterwards, she became born again. And this man met her in church and he said, I want to marry you. And the lady said, I hope you have asked God first before coming to me. Because if I tell you my situation, I don't know whether you will still say you want to marry me. The guy said, I don't care what you said is happening to you or has happened to you, but I meant every word I'm saying. I want to marry you because I love you. Then this lady opened up. I don't have a womb. I'd been in some business before which necessitated abortion, and the adverse effect is that I lost my womb. The man resulted by saying, this is the kind that we used to know whether God sent me or not. I still love you. For me, that's kind of love. Another person with something similar, when he heard such a story, that was the last time she saw the lady, or that was the last time the lady saw him. Yet he came with the topic, I love you. These are, in most cases, Eros love. Eros love sees a container without considering the content and make a decision based on the container. Just like a fine book. The cover, the topic looks nice, but you never know who wrote it, you don't know the topic. Take your time. Don't buy books simply because the cover is good. That is what some men are doing. Then we have the second word called love in the Greek word. It's called phileo. This is a friendly love. It happens between two friends. These two friends could be male and male, could be female and female, could be male and female. I do not mean, when I say male and male, female and female, I do not mean homosexuality. I mean regular friends who are just friends. My male friends, my female friends, you know, schoolmates, workmates, office mates, and so on and so forth. And this also can refer to love among family siblings. The brother and the family of the same mother can tell themselves, I love you. Obviously, they're not talking about Eros love. And so this is called filial. Phelio. Filial. Right? Then we have the third one. Actually, according to Greek dictionary, we're told that there are about 7 kinds of love. But I'm going to limit this to these 3. So the Eros, the filial, and then the agape love. The agape love is a kind that God always referred to. Is a kind that Jesus referred to when he said, love one another. This is the kind of love that Jesus used to replace all the laws and the commandments in the Old Testament. This is the kind of love that he said, I left for you. Love your neighbor as I have loved you. This is the kind of love that made him to suffer in the hand of sinners, suffered humiliation in the hands of sinners. I mean, we just finished celebrating Easter. All we were celebrating is the triumph of the cross. Jesus going to the cross to die for you, to die for me, and to die for the sins of the entire world. This is that kind of love that made him to love us even before we were lovable. This is the kind of love that could make him to leave his throne in heaven and come to die for us. If it's only one person that could have been born again, Jesus would still have died. But God so loved that he gave his only son to die in the hand of his own creatures. Because the Bible said nothing was created behind the word, and the word was Jesus. But he came in the fashion of a man so that he can feel what we feel, and on top of it, he suffered humiliation in the hand of those Roman soldiers. I always find it difficult to watch again the Passion of Christ, that film that gives some graphical illustration of the cruelty Jesus suffered in the hands of the Roman soldiers. Now, that film, obviously, I mean, the beatings and whatever Jesus went through in that film, the Jesus in that film, I mean, whatever he went through, it's not the real thing. I mean, the person that acted Jesus obviously didn't suffer all we're made to know he suffered in that film. But Jesus went through all we can imagine in that film, raw like that, beaten raw. This time around, not film trick. This time around, not stunt. This time around, not obviously they didn't put nail in the hand of the man we saw in the film. it was stunt or film trick, whatever I want to call it. But Jesus actually received that. It must have been because of this love. Now, how do we understand this love? What is the content of this love? It is important for us to again search the pages of the scripture to know what this love contains so that you can do a checklist of what you call love against these features that we see about this love, the content of this love, because it has been overused. So it is important for us to actually check what this love entails. Amen. To check what this love entails. And let's pick them, a couple of them. If you look at the book of First Corinthians chapter 13, just within the very first, between verses 1 to 7, a, an illustration of this love, the content of this love, the features of this love, the characteristics of this love are painted in that scripture in easy to understand languages so that we can measure ourselves. Whatever we say love, when you say you love your wife, your fiance, your fiancé, when you even say you love God, you need to come here and check whether those things are true. Number one, that love is patient and it's kind. Not just patient, it is kind while being patient. Imagine somebody always constantly wrong you and you endure for this person. You became patient for this person. But you are not just being patient, you are also kind at the same time. Imagine how easy that is to do, especially when you are talking about a human being. Your husband, for instance, always does what will get you angry. He wants you to be angry and by yourself pack out of the house. Yet you are exercising patience. You are being patient. You are exercising patience. But in the process of exercising the patience, you are also kind. You still went ahead. You still see something good coming his way. You still you still reserve it for him. You still cook his best meal. You still do just like the wife we're told about the wife of Apostle Smith Wigglesworth. It was his wife that first became believer. And this woman, anytime she's going to church, I mean, she was always met with harsh treatment anytime she returned. On this particular day, you know, and you know how in Europe, how it could be very cold, and in those days, you don't even have this enough technology to warm yourself. This woman went out for, I think, an evening service, yes. And this man wanted to, you know, show to this woman that he is the head of the home. And since he had warned her several times to stop going to church and she wouldn't agree, she locked her she locked her outside in the chilled, cold winter time of that time. And this woman was by the door side, slept there overnight in the cold. The next morning, the husband came to open the door, Smith Wigglesworth came to open the door. The first thing this woman did was to, submissively greet the husband. I went inside and started asking him what will he take for breakfast so that she can quickly, prepare the breakfast before, before he goes out to work. This was a woman that was left not because she committed any offense, just by serving her God. And because the man doesn't like the fact that she went to serve her God the way she did, and she was locked outside, and she came in, in that cold, not even saying, I want to go and sleep, greeted the man, responsibly, and asked what he would take for breakfast. How many ladies nowadays can do that? That is being patient and being kind. And that was the last straw on the camel back that broke the camel's back of Smith Wigglesworth, and he became a believer. Today is known as one of the general of the Lord. Today, you don't talk about men of faith and don't link Smith Wigglesworth. You don't start from those areas because of the. I want to stop here today, and I need you to go and check yourself if you are patient, if you are ever exercise patient towards somebody, towards your boss, towards your employer, towards your husband, towards your wife, towards your fellow believer, who for people who always get you angry, annoyed in the church or several places, even those you have done good things for. And in your heart, you know that you have not exploded because you are patient. But are you also kind with it? If you hear that something good is coming on the way of that person that you are being patient for, will you be kind enough to receive that thing and really go the extra length to give him or to give her? Will you still speak well of that person if the opportunity presents itself? What you may be patient. If you are not kind, you are still not demonstrating the love of God. And this is one of the things Jesus came to do for us so that we can do likewise to our fellow neighbors. Now, check yourself with this. Take time to assess yourself on this. I'll continue on this production, on this broadcast, on this subject of love next week. And if you love this, share it with others. Drop a comment. Give your experiences of maybe where you think you have demonstrated patience but you are not kind, and now you have resolved to now add kindness to your patience to make it complete. Begin to show love to one another until I come your way. This is coming from the stable of Back to Base, where we make the word of God real. My name is George Babafemi. I come your way again next week. God bless you.